Well, hello everyone. This is Al-Fadi, and with me here in studio, Dr. J. Smith, and we've been going through a number of claims used by Muslims to try to support their version of the argument about the existence of Muhammad and the character of Muhammad and the religion of Muhammad. Of course, we're talking about the Standard Islamic Narrative. At least that's the attempt, is to prove that the Standard Islamic Narrative as we know it is a valid and reliable source for the history of Islam in general and Muhammad in particular. And as we have shown so far, that every single claim that has been covered, at least I recall 11 of those, have been debunked. They are not very helpful to the Islamic standard narrative or the Standard Islamic Narrative, and they do not really support what our Muslim friends are trying to do. So today, myself and Dr. J, we are going to do, let's call it a recap of what has been covered to date. With that in mind, I want to welcome you back, Dr. J.
Okay, thank you. And what we have done in these 11 claims, and these are 11 claims, is shut each one down. These 11 claims start from 634 and go right to 730. So you're talking about roughly a 100-year period, mostly in the 7th century and well into the 8th century. And we've shut every one of them down, one after another, boom, 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 all the way up to John of Damascus. And John of Damascus is the last one we've looked at. Now, what I want to do is, remember at our very beginning when we started these episodes, I said, look at the ones that have a star next to them, that have an asterisk. Those stars are there for a purpose, because those are the only ones that really refer to the person Muhammad or Muhammad. And I said, those are the most important ones, because all the other ones could be anybody. It could be a leader, a warrior. It could be a person who is a king or a caliph who is going to war. It could be anybody of that period. But there's none of them are really Muhammad, except for 5. There's only 5 that we can say have the word Muhammad in it. So those are the ones that we are most interested in. Because if they are Muhammad, then we want to make sure that we attribute it to him. And we've already looked at them, but I think in this episode, we want to then now look at those 5 and just really place them, show who they are, and put them on a map, okay? So let's go back to our slides. We ended with the Camel of God, which is Surah 2. We're talking about John of Damascus there in 730. Now let's talk about those from the 7th and 8th century. And note only 4 to 5 references to the name Muhammad in the 7th to 8th century. The first one we looked at was, of course, Thomas the Presbyter, 634. There's the name Muhammad. And it's a battle between the Romans and the Tayyaye du Muhammad. I've put the map up there. Notice where that is. I have him down as a plan who is in Gaza, but he is the Muhammad of Tayyaye. Therefore, he comes from way over to the east of that. He comes from what is today Tikrit in Mosul, northern Iraq. But this is referring to him in Gaza.
Because he was fighting in there. That's why you have him there.
Too far to the north.
Yeah.
Too far to the north.
In a battle. There is a fight in Gaza.
Yeah.
That's why.
In some ways, you should at least put 2 arrows here, because the word Muhammad is the Persian spelling, so therefore he should be over in Persia, which is, as we know, Iran and Iraq. In this case, it's Iraq. So you might want to even put 2 arrows there, but nonetheless, way too far north. This is 1,000 to 1,200 miles too far north.
Right.
That's number 1. And he's a Lahmid. He is fighting in Gaza. This is another Muhammad, another praised one, which they claimed for all of their fighters and for their characters who are in authority. Then we went to 636. 636 is this flyleaf. We talked about this Arab of Muhammad. Now, there's the right spelling because it is Arabic. This is not Persian this time. But he kills many Syrians in Yarmouk. And see the area where Yarmouk is? Way, way, way down. You can see that is at the top near where the northern part of Israel, just in Syria itself. Way, way too far north. Much too far north. These 7th century Arabs are in basically Jordan, Syria, right on the border. What is Jordan, Syria today? He was never that far north. Look at all the traditions. Look at the Waqidi and all of his Maghazi documents. Nowhere near that area. So it's got, again, another praised one, another anointed one, possibly the Messiah yet to come, which is way up in northern Israel. That's 636. Then we went to the 660s, and Sabaeus, and he's writing about an Ishmaelite called Muhammad. So he's an Ishmaelite, not a Muslim. That we brought that out. And that he, along with 12,000 Israelites, are attacking the Byzantines. Now, there's no record of 12,000 Arabs partnering with Jews to invade Byzantium in the 7th century at all. So that's completely ahistorical. And anyways, it would be way up where that arrow is pointing, near Byzantium, which is right on the northern borders, right where Syria and Turkey intersect. Way too far north, and obviously nowhere that we have any historical account. This would be all over our pages of history if this event ever actually happened. So we're not sure why Sabaeus even wrote this. It could be that this was not even written by Sabaeus. It could be as written in a redacted back, because we don't have any of the original documents. We're going to find that out in just a few weeks. We're going to show that none of these are original. We can't find any of the original documents. So where do the extant manuscripts come from? Hold on. We have yet to put that up on our channels. So that's 660. So we're well into the 7th century. We're moving into the latter part of the 7th century. Then we come to the end of the 7th century, and we come to this guy, John Bar Penchea. Now, John Bar Penchea does refer to this Muhammad. Now, we're at the end of the 7th century. Muhammad has already been shown. We see him on the Dome of the Rock, on the inscriptions there. We see him on the protocols of al-Malik. We see him also on the coins that al-Malik coined. He puts it there, he talks about La ilaha illa Muhammadur Rasulullah. So there's only one God, but God, and the praised one is the messenger of God.
But we don't know if it is Muhammad or Muhammad.
Hold on, we're going to get to that. Yeah. That's something yet to come. That's another, that's along this 16. He's one of the 16 that we have to get to.
Viewers, you need to hold on, okay? That's what you heard. Okay.
And it's not something that I'm saying new, because we've done this before in our episodes. Yeah. We've talked about those inscriptions on the Dome of the Rock. But it's not just the Dome of the Rock, it's also on the coins. It's not just on the coins, it's also on the protocols. It's in 3 different locations by al-Malik, introducing them in 691, 692, continue to do so in 693 with his coin, with a sword that he's have won the battle against Justinian II, and then reintroduced in its real form in 696. And it's fascinating. If you have any doubt as to who this Muhammad is, just look at all the other inscriptions on front and back of that coin. By the way, I have that coin. I bought it. It cost me a pretty penny to get it, the gold solidus. And look and see, every one of those inscriptions on both sides are attacking Jesus, his divinity, the Trinity, his sonship, and attacking us as associators, the mushrikun. So it's all against the divinity. This is what you would expect from al-Malik. Read the coins make the argument for you. So we're in the same time period that these coins are coming out. We're in the same time period that the inscriptions come out. And John Bar Penchea is talking about this teacher, this leader of the Arabs. Who is the Muhammad? Well, he's too far north. And more than that, it could be, Jesus. You're right. It could be referring to Jesus, the Muhammad, that as we're going to find out, that al-Malik is referring to. Now we jump into the 8th century. So now we're no longer in the 7th century. We're well into the 8th century, where you have to find the 5th reference to them. Notice, in a whole 100 years, they can only find 5 references to him. 5 references to him. And this is from John of Damascus. By this time, well into the 8th century, he is well known. He should be well known. He is the prophet of the Ishmaelites. Muhammad or Muhammad, both are used by John of Damascus. And this is a heresy of the Christian heresy that the Ishmaelites are now introducing and perpetrating. That's why he's confronting it in his heresy of the Ishmaelites that he wrote in 730. So this is the beginning of what later became the Muhammad of Islam. But he is not the Muhammad of Arabia. And he's not the Muhammad of the Quran that received the Quran, because the 4 books that he was referred to, the book of the cow, the book of the women, the book of the table, and the book of the camel, 3 of them do exist in the Quran today, but not in the same form, nor are they the same references. And the one, the camel, doesn't exist at all. So that is yet to be introduced. The Quran is at a later date, comes after this, and he is referring to those 4 books that this prophet had. It's not the same Quran that we have here. So, conclusion. Just looking at these 5. I'm not looking at all 11. I'm just looking at these 5. When you look at these 5, these are the reference to the name Muhammad, or the title Muhammad, as we keep reminding people. In the 7th to 8th century, in this 100-year period, what are the conclusions? Let's look at them. The conclusion, every reference to Muhammad in the 7th and early 8th centuries place him in the wrong place. They place him in Gaza. They place him in Jerusalem. They place him in Damascus or in Hira, which is today just south of Baghdad, which are situated too far north, 1,000 to 1,200 miles too far north, and probably refer to other Muhammads, other praised ones, other messiahs. The praised one and could well be Jesus, or it could be these exilarchs, these Jewish exilarchs. Because of the fact that they don't give us any more information than what we see, usually just one reference on one sentence, we have to go and we have to assume that these are the Muhammads that did exist, because there were quite a few Muhammads. 5 of them we know that were Jewish Muhammads. And then, of course, anytime they refer to Jesus Christ as the praised one or as the Messiah, who's coming a second time, the Christian Muhammad. So that's what I'm assuming all these references are to.
Yes, and of course, I mean, the one of the observations, the group that this person came from or lead in, they called Tawa'i, Tayaye. It's called Arabs, not Muslims, basically Ishmaelites, not Muslims. He was a leader of the Arabs, and all that kind of stuff indicate that the name Muslims hasn't formulated as of yet.
Not this early. Or not the name that we're looking for, and certainly not in Arabia, because that's the thing we want to look at. Is this Muhammad in Arabia? Look at the map. Just look at the map there. Go up on the screen again. Look at that slide. Look at all those red arrows. Nearby Byzantine, Damascus, Yarmouk, Hira, Gaza. Should be down in Mecca, way at the bottom. Not one of them is down there. And why?
Right.
Because where's Mecca located? It's in a desert. And there's a desert, no water, no food, no people, no towns, city, no civilization, no history.
So what are we going to talk about next in preparation for closure of this episode?
We're going to go into number 12. We've done the first 11. Those are the ones.
12th claim.
We're 12th claim, sorry.
Yeah.
We're going into the 12th claim, which is the Astronomy letter. This is a famous one.
Which we talked about many times before.
Many times we've done episodes on this.
Yeah.
But this is one Muslims bring up. They say the Astronomy letter puts him down there and shows that he is there. You can't do, because this is from your own sources, Jay. This is from Christian sources. This is from the monastery there in Sinai, the St. Catherine's Monastery. Those are Christian monks. They are referring to Muhammad, and he's actually has a pact with them. So we're going to debunk that one quickly in the next episode.
Thank you so much, as always, Dr. J. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we encourage you to continue to interact with us. Write comments, send us any emails or requests, share any findings, or even any, if you have a pushback against this, by all means, we welcome all of that, because it gives us even more material that we can work with and make sure that these episodes become academically helpful to you. Maybe a Muslim friend is pushing back against what we're saying. Share with us what they're saying. That will be extremely helpful to us to see the angle that they're taking, even though so far we have debunked 11 out of the 16 claims, and the next episode we'll start with number 12. I guarantee you a Muslim friend here or there is going to come back and give you a whole different explanation as to why we're wrong and they are right. But the truth will always stand. Until next episode, this is Al-Fadi. God bless. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And ring the bell so you will be notified when we release new content. Our mission is to reach Muslims with the gospel of Jesus Christ and help Christians engage with their Muslim neighbors. If you want to join us in this life-changing work, please support us on patreon.com/CIRA International, or just click on the link below.